Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sharp Talk Podcast. I'm Tom, aka Tom Hosting Outdoors on YouTube and Instagram. Today we have our normal co-host with us. We have Alex from Alex's Knife Box, and you can find him on Instagram at Alex_knifebox. Gerald, who's Outpost 76 on YouTube and Instagram. And we also have Jake, who is Bearded Gear on YouTube and Instagram as well. Actually, he's Bearded_Gear, aren't you?
Technically, yeah.
Gotcha.
It's because the freaking rad people know that you gotta have an underscore.
Yeah.
You just got to, like it makes it, it's like an underline under the name.
But it doesn't look as clean.
I think technically it was actually just because Bearded Gear was taken, so I put the underscore in and then it worked. But
Don't tell anybody else that.
Well, Alex's Knife Box was fine, but I wanted to put the underscore there. It just needed to be there.
just a power move.
It's the exclusive will be able to locate me, because they know there's an underscore.
Sure.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't want to be bothered, with
Yeah,
fame.
limit the people who discover you. That's good. Good
Yep.
tactic for social media.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
As he has the most
Absolutely.
followers out of all of us, I think. Right? Or
Who,
you and
me?
Jake about the same.
I don't know.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
I
He
just
probably
passed
got a lot
5K.
more.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Jake is definitely there.
Yeah, I think I have 2,500.
Well, fuck. Maybe I need to add an underscore to my name. Maybe I'll gain more followers.
It's the key to happiness and success.
It must be. Underscores. Anyhow,
Well, I stopped getting a lot of followers and stuff when I stopped putting like a million hashtags on my pictures. I got tired of doing it. I got lazy, Now I just
never
put a
do it.
picture or video, and I was doing that rock picture thing, on my Instagram with the 3 separate pictures, 3 different angles so you could see the knife. I stopped doing that shit too. I'm fucking tired.
I
Fuck that shit.
I did hashtags at like the very beginning, but not anymore. I just don't even bother with it. I'm like, the people that follow me, and they're going to like my shit. Otherwise, whatever.
I mean, I still get followers adding. I probably get on Instagram, maybe about 20 to 50 a month.
Well, that must be nice. I get like 3 a month. I should
Really?
probably start doing the hashtag thing.
Yeah, or start posting pictures of knives. I don't know.
I have recently, dickhead.
I've had a big bump the last couple of days because of that dropping the fake strider down the canyon thing. That reel has like 150,000 views right now.
That was funny.
Oh, sweet.
That was pretty funny. Anyhow, this
All
is
in a
our
day's
last episode of the year, so we have all sorts of fun
You know
stuff
what,
planned.
Tom? I don't like how you just kind of scooted us off here. Like, we're all getting reacquainted and all that stuff. So I'm not, I'm taking the lead today, guys. Tom is going to sit in the back chair. So as you were saying, Bearded Gear, about dropping the strider down the canyon.
Oh, just that it's apparently people really like watching that on Instagram. That reel literally this morning it was at 144,000. I don't know what it's at now. I can check.
Jesus.
But that was the only reel I've ever posted, and I put it in my stories, and a lot of people were like reacting in my stories, and then I forgot to highlight it before it disappeared. So I was like, oh, I'll just put it in a reel. That's the only way I can make it like stay on Instagram forever. And yeah, it's at 145,000 views right now.
Holy-
Did you get a PM from Strider or
No.
no?
I did a YouTube video following up. I went and tried to find the knife, but I could not get into that part of the canyon where it fell. The only way in is to rappel down the waterfall.
Well, we
Yeah,
don't want
I-
to see a video of you falling down the canyon like the knife did. It's
Some
like
people want to see it.
How
It's
cool would
like-
that have been?
oh, I'm
though?
sure.
Just a
I'm
video
sure
of Jake
some people
rappelling
wanna
down the
see
side
it.
of the canyon. Like fucking James
do
Bond.
everybody realizes it's a fake one, right?
So I did put in my stories that it was a fake one, and then in the YouTube video, but 144,000 people have not watched my YouTube video or my stories. So there's definitely, give or take, 143,000 people that may or may not think it's real. They don't have any reason to believe it's not.
You had me going. At first, I was like, I don't think he has a Strider, but he's always getting new stuff, and he's always flipping fucking knives around. So maybe
Oh.
he actually dropped it.
He can drop mine down the canyon.
I've had a bunch of people say I should do
Maybe
like,
it'll
the
fix
magnet
the
fishing
fucking
thing.
lock stick. I'm just kidding. It fixed itself.
It's drop shutty now. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. So that was entertaining. So sorry we're a week late, guys, because honestly, I've been sick as hell for like 2.5 weeks. I've been out of work for 2 weeks because I'm sick. And if you're coughing or anything like that, and you're in a retail environment, the first thing everybody thinks of, oh my God, he's got COVID.
Yep.
Call the health department. So it's technically the greatest time in the world right now to call in sick because, well, it depends how you look at it. Because if you call in sick, you can guarantee by the time you get your COVID test and you get the results back, it's going to be at least a week off that you got, so one day of intentional, whatever can turn into a week. But yeah, me and my wife have both been out of work. So I'm supposed to go back on Tuesday, but I'm feeling much better. Thanks to all for postponing it a week because of my whatever.
Oh, we just didn't want you slobbering all over your webcam.
Yeah, I wasn't about to do that, and there was a lot of snot.
Ugh.
A lot of snot.
I don't need to know.
A lot of snot.
Jesus Christ.
And it wasn't even gross because, like, you get so snotty that it's just clear. Like, there's no color or anything. It's just clear. All you see is little bubbles, like if it was, like, gel for your hair or something like. But other than that,
Can we talk about knives, please?
All right, moving right along. So let's do a little pocket check. Tom, what are you carrying in your little hand?
Well, it doesn't help because I got 2 small knives today. Got my
there we go.
my Chaparral lightweight.
Dude, that looks like a PM2 in my hand.
That if I choke up, I still have a little tiny bit of the handle sticking out.
Wow, that's funny.
If I choke down,
he's got his hand angled as far as he can.
That's just how I hold the knife. That's how I've always held knives. And then what's been in my pocket for a long time, ever since I got it, is the Rex 121 Sasquatch from Steingraber Performance Knives.
Oh, he's awesome.
He is. He's a good dude. Makes good stuff.
Yep.
Those 2 have been in my pocket for about the past week.
Very, very cool. Anything particular you want to mention about either one of those?
I'm just really enjoying that Sasquatch a lot. Like, I didn't think that I was going to be one of those people that carries a fixed blade every day, but it rides with me in my front pocket. I don't even belt carry it or anything. I just throw it in my front pocket because it's small enough. And when I need it, it's there, and I feel like I pull that out more often than a folder. It's just so much more comfortable to cut with.
Oh, absolutely. Completely. I agree. I'm all about the fixed blades. It's just, if you do YouTube or all that stuff, there's a market and like a thing for it, but I think for the vast majority, people like the folders because the fidgetness and all that stuff. But EDC, if I could carry a fixed blade doing what I do, I would, but I think it'd be kind of awkward.
Just throw it in your pocket like I do. They never know.
Yeah, but I squat down a lot to measure, tire tread and check under the hood.
Well, not that. I don't do that, but.
So, and I wear slacks while I'm doing it.
Okay,
so.
I wear jeans, so it hides it a little bit better.
Exactly. So, yeah, fixed blade is kind of hard for me, but I almost consider one of those little bird and trout ones, Yeah. Like those little tiny ones. I don't know. But very cool. Gerald? What you got?
Nothing special, buddy.
Oh, what's in the pocket right now? Like, what are you cutting with? Oh, there you go.
M390?
Yeah.
Bento box?
Not at work. This whole week at work was my Hoagie X1 and K390 Para 3.
I thought you called it a Hoagie X1, and I was like, what is a Hoagie X1?
It's like a hot dog, but it's got extra sauce. A hoagie? Hot dog with extra sauce.
I thought a hoagie was a sandwich.
You know what?
It's a
it could
type
be
of
a
bun.
sandwich.
It's a type of bun.
Is it a sandwich? It's like a bun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a bun.
it's like a sub, but it's different somehow. I'm not really sure how it's any
Yeah.
different, but it's like a sub.
Gerald knows. He's been carrying one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gerald's been carrying a hoagie in his back pocket.
there's a whole damn sandwich back there.
Yeah.
So
You never know when
So
snack
I'm
time's
actually
gonna strike.
curious about that EX01. So I have one of those that I think I bought. I can't remember how long ago. It was like many, many, many years ago, and I find it to be very sharp and like good steel, but it's kind of wedge-like in the blade shape, right?
I don't. I mean, it's a little. I don't know. It's probably not any thicker than most of your Spyderco stuff.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No.
Interesting knife. It's the button lock, right? With the G Masca scales and stuff like that.
Well, I have the aluminum one.
Oh, that's probably better.
it feels way
I
better.
have the Damascus ones, but I would imagine. I think I would have liked that knife better with metal scales. So,
Yeah, it just feels completely different. I like it way better. Gerald,
all right.
with as much M390 as you've tested, I feel like I would never want to fucking touch it again. I can't believe you keep on carrying it.
Oh. Well, look though, the few that I've actually kept are all Spyderco stuff, 62 or above.
Yeah, you got the good shit.
That actually cut stuff. I don't own any other M390.
I'm exhausted of M390 just from watching the videos and seeing all the videos that come up. I'm like, oh, there's another one.
Dude,
Yep.
look, I'm just tired of hearing it's M390 or 20 CV, so it's good.
Well, I
No,
just
no,
treat-
you're
I
all
just-
fucking wrong. It's not good.
I just treat it all like the
S30V,
modern day
yeah.
S30V. That's pretty
Yeah.
much what I think of it as. So, yeah, every time I see M390, it's not impressive like it used to be, so many years ago.
Nope.
Unless it's like from somebody special, like from Culture Tech or, like those custom heat treat guys. But actually, that small little custom knife that I got from, what was his name? One I got years ago. Wells Custom Knives.
Mhm.
Robert Wells.
Yeah.
Is that the same dude that does like the open L conversions?
Yep.
Yeah, that's him. So I had him build me a little custom knife many, many years ago. I still have it. And he does his 20 CV, but it had like on the certificate, the heat treat spec and everything, and it came from Peters, which was kind of cool. And that was all on the cert, which was kind of neat. So there's a couple companies out there, I think, that kind of like do some good stuff with that steel, but not the vast majority anyways.
That's
So-
that's who does Holt stuff sometimes is Peters, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, Peters is good.
Not all the time. It's a mixture between them, the people that do Benchmade stuff, Stack, and
Yep.
somebody else. I think part of it was in house. I thought
Yeah,
it's
that's the
split
third
between
option
between all
in-house.
three.
Yeah, they've done a little bit of heat treat themselves, but I think like the Peters is the one they usually try to favor the most out of
Yeah.
all the options.
Depends how backed up they
Stacks.
are.
Yeah, and then Stacks if Peters isn't available, and then on occasion as like not like I want to say a hobby as a once in a while like thing that they do to just experience it or do it. Once in a while they'll just heat treat some of their knives too. I think for the most part they send it out,
Yeah.
which is exactly what I'm carrying today actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm carrying a Holt Spectre today. So there you have it. Ooh, shiny. Ooh,
Oh, shiny.
quadruple secondary market. Ooh.
Alex, have you tried the new Holt yet?
The haptic?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But it doesn't interest me as much because it's a little bit smaller than the Spectre, and the Spectre is small enough for me.
It interests me more. I like the looks of that model a little bit more myself.
And I have a knife that looks very much like it, which is that Drifter from Skiff.
Mhm.
So like I don't feel like I have a need for the haptic. I would like to check one out just to flip it around and see, but I don't really. I'm not sure like I would ever want to own one unless
Just
I
get on
had.
a table and then flip it.
Or no, I don't do that. The only way I would get one is if perhaps if somehow I could get one that matched this exact one. That would be cool to have a set.
Mhm.
Other than that, I'm not interested.
I want that drifter you have, Alex. That thing's so sick.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna upgrade it. I haven't decided if I'm gonna sell it and build another one with them, or if I'm gonna upgrade mine yet. We'll see. We've been talking. So, Jake, what have you been carrying?
Today I have the Viper Vox Catla. This one's a loaner from my buddy Brandon. I'm in a group chat with a few guys who have like all gotten these and been raving about them, and so my buddy Brandon sent me his to check out. It's an interesting offering. There's a lot that's cool about it. It's a nice Vox design, micarta with like copper components for the backspacer and the pivot collars, and it's M390, which means it's good to go. But yeah, I was carrying that, and then the Microtech Chodon.
Oh, that's cool. I like that thing.
Yeah, I just like calling it the Chodon. That's my favorite.
How much
thing
are
about it.
those?
I don't know. This one's a loaner too. I think they're like right around the $200 mark, maybe a little over $200.
If they were like the same price as the Exotech, then I would like that much better.
They might be. This one wouldn't be as effective as a money clip, but it's,
Well, yeah, but
it has a better name.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
And this one is 204p, so you know that's good to go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Never had
Very
any problem
cool.
with those steels before.
Right? What about you, Alex? What are you carrying?
The Spectre, the Holt Spectre. This is a M390 version.
That's good to go.
It's good to go. This is a Peters M390 version. I do know that.
So it probably is good to go, honestly.
And yeah, it's a cool knife. It's, I don't know, man. I still, it's still one of those knives is like I got it at table price, right, from the maker directly, but if I had to spend $1,500-$1,800 on this, I think I'd be upset with myself.
Yeah.
But it's a great knife for what I paid for it, like it's an amazing knife at the table price. At the table price, it's like, wow, like that is so much knife. But then once you double, triple the price, and I still don't know why the V4, this liner lock version, for some reason I see hold all kinds of crazy value, right? But then the V3, which is the one that I thought was better, the frame lock version, are becoming more affordable.
Interesting.
Is that weird? I think that's weird.
Probably because there's way more frame lock models made than the liner lock ones.
Well, somebody said that they finally discontinued them. Is that true?
Oh, the Spectre in general?
The Spectre, yeah.
Yeah, as far as I knew, as soon as they moved to the haptic, that the Spectre wasn't going to be made.
Well, that's what they said, but I wasn't sure because every once in a while you thought you saw like a Spectre, Lotto here and there or something.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, the Holt Spectre in the pocket today. I'm gonna drop it down a cliff for entertainment so I can get 1 million views. Anybody?
Yeah, Jake will take care of that for you.
I know.
He'll stand on the
I know.
roof and drop it off too.
I know the perfect cliff.
See,
I like quite a Acuminous Edge had a better idea. He's like, I'm gonna take a full custom Marfion and I'm gonna put it in a meat grinder and just grind it on video for everybody and watch everybody go nuts. I'm like, okay.
It makes me wonder, what could I destroy and gain thousands of views?
Yeah, well, that's the weird part, is he likes to remain unknown,
Yeah.
but he wants to like make people, crazy with some of those posts. He used to have those crazy Al Qaeda ones, and yeah,
Watch the world burn.
yeah. The Acuminous Edge has moved from full custom Marfions now to a lot of knives he's been sending out for customizing, and he's been doing a lot of Emerson stuff.
That's cool.
Which is kind of interesting.
Different.
Yeah, he's always doing something different. So, but a lot of cool Emersons. So check out the Acuminous Edge on Instagram. New acquisitions? Anyone?
Got a couple
Anything you
things.
want to talk about in this last month that we've been away from each other?
I've gotten some stuff.
Well, I know you have. But, for you, let's make this rule. The stuff that you've bought, not the stuff you've gotten in from review, or else we'll be here for, a long time.
That's fine.
We'll still be here for a long time.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you want me to go first, or should I go last?
You're going to go first, because...
Okay.
Go for it.
I got Chavez 229 Blackout.
Oh, that is cool.
The
Super cool.
Redemption. Liking it more than I thought I would, if I'm being honest. I got a Spartan Harsey folder with a Damon Steel blade.
That's super cool.
Everything about it I love, except for the really flamer dragon scales.
Is that a Nicole's Damascus blade?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure they are.
I'd have to look on the card. I think so. Someone said that they think it's Boomerang Damascus. This is the only Damascus knife I have, so I don't know.
I think that's Chad Nicole's
Yeah.
brand Damascus, and that is way better than freaking Damas Steel any day. I think it's carbon.
Okay. So I got that. I got the CKF Satori 2.0.
Very nice.
It's the little Satori. Love that knife a lot. I got a X Series Pina Mula.
That's a cool knife. I was looking at that.
I really
Very
enjoy
simple.
that
I like
knife.
that one.
I think, I don't know if it's been a month yet, but also the X Series Apache.
Oh, that's a cool one.
I like that one as well. What else is mine? I got this technically as a trade, little UTX 70,
That's cool.
basically a toy Microtech. I got, this is new. The
Oh, come on, man. I lost all respect for you
I
now.
bought it. I paid.
I know you
full
bought it.
retail. And
I
then
bet you people are paying more than retail for that stupid thing.
ProTech SBR.
Such
the
a good
River's
little
Edge
knife.
cutlery. Yeah, this one's the River's Edge exclusive with the Cerakote blue titanium finish. And other than that, it was just Spyderco Factory Second stuff. So I got a Plain Jane PM2 to give as a gift for Christmas to a buddy. I
That's
got
cool.
Maximet PM2 because it was $80 and I
What?
on it. Yeah,
Where?
the Factory Seconds sale. They did it online this year because of COVID.
Oh, fuck.
And then I got their chef knife, which I have in the kitchen. I can grab if you want to see it.
Well, we're going to have a section for that.
I'll grab it then. Yeah. Well, I got their, it's like the Korean, however you say it, handle
Yep.
VG10 chef's knife. It was like $60 something at the second sale. And there's nothing wrong with it other than the little notch they put in to show that it's a second. So I scored. I spent under $200 and I got a Maximet PM2, S30V PM2 to give as a gift and a really nice chef knife. So that was a win.
You had a lot of Riot built stuff in there.
Yeah, lately I feel like I go through waves of like having a bunch of it just kind of happens. Like lately I've also been reviewing a bunch of ZTs. People have just been offering me cool ZT loaners, and so like I've got a couple of ZTs sitting here. There's another one in the other room. yeah, I've just been on a kick lately, I guess. But
You know what Riot's been really kind of that I've been tempted to buy a few times is the Tribute. I really like that little knife.
those look
That's
cool.
a cool little knife. It's got kind of like a big blade for a little handle.
I wish they did more in-house stuff.
Yeah.
See, I rarely like their in-house stuff. They're like the stuff they do with Ramon Chavez, the stuff they do with Enrique Pina, the stuff they do with Brian Nadeau.
Yeah.
All of those knives I love, but most of their like internal design knives that I've had just don't really feel all that special to me. Like I had that Knife Joker exclusive K2 not too long ago, and that one was cool because it had the fat carbon scale and the Zerk components, but it's still like it felt a little bit soulless compared to the ones that the designers from the US have built for them by Riat.
Right.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I get a better sensation out of the ones that are designed here by people and then just built over there.
I kind of
Very
feel the same
cool.
way. Like when they first came out, the first one they had was the Hills, I think. That one was kind of cheap. It was like $250, and for what it was really really nice, honestly, for what it was. And they discontinued that, and everything since then has been like $350 plus, which is fine. But
Mhm.
all the designs have been kind of pooey.
Yeah, they've been doing quite a bit with like makers who are just doing, I don't know, like their own little projects lately too. Where like Birch Tree Blades, the guy behind the Danger Pickle, he did his secant through them just recently. I'd love to get one of those. I don't know. Yeah, there's it seems like more and more makers are using them to have them do their production run, and then it's like not a Riat catalog knife, and I kind of like that.
I like both. I have to say that a lot of their in-house designs have appealed to me almost less sometimes than some of their collaborations. But everything they make has been quality. So as far as like buying a good knife, it doesn't matter if it's made by Riot, it's going to be a good knife, regardless.
Right.
It's just, the aesthetics is going to be all up to you and how the lock works. Does it fit your hand? Is it comfortable? All that stuff. Otherwise, it's nothing to worry about from Riot as far as what I've experienced anyway.
They're consistent on quality for sure. Giant
Big
Mouse
time.
is moving more and more of their stuff over there as well, which reminds me that I have one more knife I didn't show. I just unboxed this yesterday. The new GMF1F, the fat one. So it's a thicker M390, so you know it's good. Not only is it M390, but it's more M390.
Yes.
So
It's Italian M390, Gerald's favorite.
I think
Yeah.
that, so I have a hunch that these little fixed blades they're actually having Riat make now.
I thought that's what they
It
went
will-
to regardless.
But I don't think so, because look at the crowning on that spine and the way the
Yeah.
jimping's done. That is
Sure.
so Fox Knives or Lion Steel.
But Riat makes the Sonoma. They made the GM6. They're making the new Riv, which is the mini Biblio. And Enrique Pina has a little fixed blade just like this that is made by Riat. And they look like they are doing the same thing. So Riat's already done all these things for them. It's not like Riat can't crown a spine and do this
Well,
type
no,
of
but nobody quite does it like the Italians usually. They have their own little signature crowning the way
Oh,
they
no.
do it.
You know what? You're right.
And-
It literally on the tang of it says made in Italy. I'm an idiot.
No, but I mean, you could totally
You
have
win,
a point
Alex.
too.
You
No,
win.
you could totally have a point. But the Lion Steel, the Fox Knives, like in that little general area, because it's all in the same city. Like,
Maniago.
I can tell you right now, as far as like production companies, right? We're talking maybe like Spyderco, Benchmade, Lion Steel, all these production companies. Let's put the steel aside from it for just a quick second, and we're talking about design, fitment and finish and quality, like from the frames and the integrals they do. The Italians do an amazing job building a knife. I mean, they really know how to do that stuff well. As far as the blade steel heat treat, like I'm going to stay out of that. Probably better off getting either an N690 or a Nilox version. I think Gerald will agree with me on that at least. Right? And But yeah, otherwise I really like Italian knives. That's cool. That little fixed blade looks really nice. I like the angle of the handle. It looks like you're not going to really be cranking your wrist to use it much.
It's a 3-finger knife for sure. I just barely get 3 fingers in there.
Yeah.
There's third parties that make scales for
Dude.
these. I'm tempted to do scales, but if I do
Tom will 4-finger the shit out of that
I
thing.
will.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I mean,
this looks like a big old cleaver in his hand.
Look on a chaparral. So I mean, like I could. Totally
Oh my
do that.
god! And he's not even choking up on it.
No, I said if I
This would
squeeze
be
my
a
fingers
combat
together, I could
throwdown
fit.
in Tom's hands.
Yes.
Oh man.
Send that my way. We'll see how big my hand looks on that.
Oh, that's so worth it. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, Gerald, any new acquisitions?
Yeah,
You gotta
but
top me.
I got to do a video
You got
about it,
more?
so I can't say anything about it.
Okay,
That's fair.
fair enough. You got more, Jake?
No, I said he's got to top me. And
Oh,
I might be forgetting one, but if I am, I don't know what it is.
mm.
Dude,
Tom?
look, I don't really buy anything anymore. The value in EDC size fixed blades from small makers far outweighs a production folder, so it's gonna have to be some kind of fantastic production folder for me to want to pick it up.
110%.
Did any of you guys get one of the 10V sharks at today's drop from Steingraber?
No.
No.
Me and Alex are going to do a custom project. I kind of got put off because financially it's been tight lately, but I still have the Westinghouse Ivory micarta in there for that project.
That's cool.
So we're going to do something pretty wild. I'm going to make a nice little EDC fixed blade with him eventually.
Nice.
Dude, look, I didn't get a 10V because it does not offer anything that the K390 that I have from him already.
Agreed.
They're basically
It's gonna
they're
give me,
real
so-
close.
I was really messing with him too. I'm like, because he like thinks I'm like Mr. Fancy Pants, so he's like, "All right, man. So like, what are we doing here? Let me guess, some sort of Damascus, right?
Hand
All
rub
right.
G2.
Well, sure, why not? Or how about like a really, really, really hard Rex 121?" And he's like, "Okay, or we could like do some other crazy Damascus. Like, why don't we take Damasteel to its like full hardness potential?" I'm like, I like the way you're thinking, So I don't know exactly what we're doing yet. But
I heard there's a Damascus that's Vanex based called like DC18N or something.
Yep.
Curious about that.
that
I
would
am-
be Vanex based would be okay, I guess, but it's not going to be particularly any better cutting tool than it'll be stainless,
Yeah, but as the stainless component would go, Vanex, as stainless steels go, at least in my opinion, is pretty cream of the crop. I really
I
like
think Damasteel is perfect though too for that, because if you think about that powder metallurgy one, dude, I don't think I've ever had a piece of Damasteel ever rust on me.
Well, it's
And
basically
I've
CPM
had
154.
an M390 stain on me. I don't know if it has to do with my huge knife box or the way I used to store them or whatnot, but yeah, Damasteel, never.
I do not think I've ever seen a Damascus or Damasteel that I'm like, ooh, that looks good.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
Some like
I like
Damascus doesn't
bacon
do it for
Damascus.
me, but Damasteel kind of does it because of how much contrast there is. Like you get a lot of shine to it. It just all depends how they finish it. If you leave
it's
it,
all on the etching.
if you leave it real dark, like Chris Reeve does most of the time, I'm not a huge fan.
Well, and it also depends on the type of Damascus, right?
Yeah.
Because if Chris Reeves using like Rob Thomas, it's going to be like a high carbon based one. So when it etches, or Rob Thomas, yeah, it's going to etch like really dark because of it.
Right.
So where Damasteel is more like that powder metallurgy, which is not the same process. And it's kind of like almost like a monosteel at that point.
I've never felt like I needed to own one in Damasteel or Damascus.
Nope.
Like it's cool and everything. Like I like seeing them, and especially like seeing them in person. But I've never once seen one that I was like, yeah, that's worth the extra $150 or $200 over what it would be in something else.
Well, for me, it's like having colored socks, Like one day I want to wear red socks. One day I want to wear pink socks. One day I want to wear green socks. I mean, one day I want boomerang. One day I want, Thor.
This makes a lot of sense. I wake up every morning and just pick black socks. That's all I do. So, I mean, it all makes sense now.
On some blue days, I'll pick a stonewash blade and, but on brighter days, I like something gleaming. Even maybe like a nice mirrored RWL34, perhaps.
Don't you have a knife in that crazy dragon scale Damascus that's all purple and stuff?
I do. My Zeba.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
The mini S5. Yeah, that's a cool. But that Birdie Redveld Damascus, it's apparently he's the only guy that knows how to make it. But to me, I think it looks like crushed bearings is the way it looks like it's made, right? Like just the way like you got all those little gaps everywhere and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it is kind of cool how you could blue it. I've seen people blacken it, which looks even better, I think. It's like a shiny black, but you could still see like the little, I guess, cracks in between or whatever you call it, the little nebula pattern. And that almost shows up silver. So it's a really crazy contrast. But I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do any cut performance with it or anything like that to even see how well it cuts. So that's more of a show thing. Like to me, like I know if you get like Chad Nichols Damascus, it's going to cut really well because of what the stuff that he uses when he
Alex, I think that should be your viral moment. You should be the first person to torture test that crazy Damascus.
My budget really doesn't quite figure into that, but I'll keep that in mind.
Mine does.
You already bought the knife. It won't cost you anything.
Yeah.
Or I'll be happy to do one of those Civivis, the Asticus. There you go. I'll do that Damascus one right there. I'll torture test the heck out of that.
The Asticus Damascus?
Yes. That's a great knife, by the way.
I still haven't tried one of those.
Yeah, they're great. I think I sold mine, but I sold it to Dirk. Dirk wanted one, and then he bought one for his giveaway afterwards. So they're pretty cool. Good knives, kind of big too. It's almost 4 inches, I think. It's like almost like a ZT-0452 with a thinner grind and made of stainless steel. There you go. Just like that. So maybe a hair bit smaller, but not much. So continuing along, Tom, any new acquisitions?
A couple. One knife would be that Rex 121 Sasquatch from the beginning.
Okay.
Big fan of that, like I already said. And then I picked up a new sharpener. I wasn't planning on it, but as much as I like
a
my Wicked
stone
Edge,
or a new system?
No, a new system. And
What'd you get?
As much as I like the Wicked Edge, it has some downfalls, like I've said in the video that I did on it a while back, and that you have no stone options. Like you're basically stuck with the Wicked Edge stuff and whatever.
Did you get a KME?
No, I've had a KME before, and as much as I liked it, I went with a Hapstone this time. Hapstone M3, like their entry level system. They were running a Black Friday sale, or some sort of was it Black Friday? I don't remember. But they were running either 10 or 15% off all their stuff. So the system alone was only like $130, which really wasn't bad at all.
That's pretty good.
And then you could pick out whatever stones you wanted. And the cool thing with the Hapstone is it'll take up to a 6-inch stone. So basically anything that's out there in 6 inches or less, you can use. And there's so many stone options out there now. So it's been fun to learn. I mean, it's not hard to learn, but the table's a lot nicer.
I think you should have bought an Edge Pro.
So this is basically like a nicer Edge Pro.
Is it nicer than the Edge
Yeah.
Pro?
It is. It's got magnets in the table, so it actually holds your knife where you want it.
Oh,
So it'll still move around. Like if you can't like not like keep your hand on it, you have to have your hand on the knife blade or on the handle still. But it's just super easy to keep it where you want to. It depends on the grind of the knife too.
mm,
Like I sharpened a Benchmade the other day that had some flat to it. That if I put a little bit too much pressure on it, it would want to tilt down onto the main bevel or the primary.
mm.
So it's just cool how adaptive it is. They even sell guide rod for my Wicked Edge stones, so I can use those on it.
Hmm.
So it's been really cool. I'm enjoying it, but the Wicked Edge still has a lot of the stuff that I like, and I'm still going to continue to use it. But for different stone applications and trying different stuff, the Hapstone's going to be great.
Very, very cool. Yeah, because it's kind of like where a fixed guided sharpening system meets hand,
Yeah.
hand sharpening. So I actually started the first guided sharpening system I ever bought was an Edge Pro. I still have it, and I liked it. I did some really nice edges on that thing, and it was very surprising at how well it worked.
If you like
So
the
I'm
Edge
sure
Pro, you'd like the Hapstone. And the Hapstone's modular, so you can add stuff down the road all the time. You can, instead of having it on the table, they sell like an actual blade clamp, like the KME has. So you can
Right.
basically make it however you want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Very, very cool. Well, any other new acquisitions?
That was it for me.
Well, I did get a couple. So you guys remember I had that little Surge Persian slip joint,
Yeah.
right? So I saw on the email that he made a bean that matched it. So I got a matching bean for the little slip collection.
Look at you over there flicking the bean.
That's right. So kind of cool. It's M390, so you know it's good to go.
Unquestionable.
Undeniably. I got the Civivi McKenna in the 154 cm and brass configuration.
I
Right.
like that too.
I kind of liked it. It's a neat little knife to kind of just slip in the pocket, and the blade's really, really thin, so not bad for a little front flipper, a little cheapy. I don't remember if I brought this one out before, but I did get a GEC Mustang
Ooh.
in full stag.
I was gonna say that looks like Stag.
Yep. So that's a cool one. It's another one of those worth 300%. And then this one too, the beer and sausage knife. So I got one of those, which was really nice from Mike at Collector Knives. So he hooked me up and got me one of these, which was
Is that the
really
one that
cool.
has like a little fork in it too?
Yeah, it's got a knife blade, which I'll show you, which is cool. Nice
I was thinking
clean
if
one.
it's got utensils, that might actually be a decent like keep in the camping bag type of knife to have.
It
just to get
kind
that-
of is. It's got this comb, right? Perfect for you, Jake. Right?
It's
kinda
got a beard comb. And
That's me in my YouTube comments, bro.
and then I kind of almost consider this like a little fork, right? That's for your sausage. And then your beer is right here.
Hmm.
So that's what you get. You get a knife blade, beard comb, bottle opener, and sausage stabber.
It's like the hobo knife from Case, but cooler.
Exactly. So
Except you can't take that apart like you can the Case.
right. This is true. I did do a couple trades. I never usually trade knives, but recently I just, wanted to do something out of boredom. So for this one, I traded my A2 knives A6, that Tashi collaboration with Andrew Heerden, which is like, it had like a, I don't know, it's a carbon fiber and zirconium knife. And I traded it for this McNeese custom tangent.
Ooh, that's cool.
I like that bolster.
Yeah, it's got a superconductor bolster on it, CPM 154 steel blade, which is what McNeese uses a lot. It's nicely finished, like a hand rub satin, and it's got the matching clip and matching back spacers too. So it's a little superconductor kind of bolstered out knife. It's got really, really smooth action. It's on bearings for sure. So it feels like kind of a roller action, but cool little piece. I'm definitely going to keep. And then I traded my tough knives, and I think I showed you guys already, for that Robert Carter F16. This has actually been pretty enjoyable to carry, even though it's like a super duper expensive knife. I've been enjoying carrying and cutting with it, actually. It's made of 4V steel, zirconium bolsters, and paper ivory micarta scales. And it's funny, so I posted this thing on the custom and mid-tech group on the Facebook groups, and I found the original owner of it. So apparently it's from a 2016 build. And when I got this knife, there's like a couple little things I wanted fixed. So I reached out to Robert Carter to see if he would take the knife in for a spa. And he said, yeah, no problem, but I'm booked up till March. So, and then he made a comment about the clip. He's like, yeah, it's probably a good time to change out that clip. So it's got a zirconium, well, it's zircotite clip, right? So it's zirconium and titanium, right? So I'm like, that's funny you say that, because for some reason, that's the only piece on this knife that it looks cool, but it kind of just doesn't really look like it belongs for some reason. Flow. Right? So apparently the owner that got this knife, originally this came with a zirconium polished clip, but he had some other maker make a clip for it. And that's why Robert Carter was making that comment about, oh, we need to get rid of that clip now. So cool knife. It's really thick. It's really heavy, and I like it.
Does it have a two-tone blade?
It does. It's got an acid wash blade with satin flats.
Cool. It looks nice.
Very nice. It's very nice. It's a knife I could carry and cut with every day. It's super awesome. So I think the knife that I traded for it was a little bit of a higher end knife, but in all respects, I think this is more of a cutting tool. And I think that's ultimately why I end up doing that trade for the tough for that.
What we got?
So, all right, that's pretty much it. Oh, and I don't know if you guys ever seen these. I got a Gerber vintage little micarta folder from back in the day. Remember these?
I don't remember those, but I've seen it around before.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. This is a I know Gerber made them, but then I think Lone Wolf also made them. The Paul knife is what they call them. And it's basically this pivot is the unlocking point.
The precursor of the deadbolt from CRKT.
Exactly. It almost looks like a front flipper, but you can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you front flip that?
You can't, because this has to be pinched together on both sides in order for you to do it. And the way that it's done is you pretty much want to pinch it upside down, because there's like some sort of thing that locks the knife, like handle and knife independently. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But yeah, you definitely have to only operate it off the pivot. So kind of a weird, old, unique little piece of history. So let's move on to the subjects. So this year, this is going to be the last podcast episode of the year, and kind of an interesting one for the knife world. I don't know about you guys. I've been laying low most of the year. But kind of still keeping an eye out on like certain trends and stuff like that. I liked what came out this year, but I'm not going to say it's been the best year. But considering the COVID-19 and all that stuff, I think companies did really well to cope with it and did the best that they could. So a lot of cool releases overall. Any notable companies or knives you guys kind of thought of for this year that kind of stood out to you?
That's tough.
It could be makers, it could be knives, it could be companies, it could be whatever.
I already did a top knives of 2020 video, and the one I crowned the winner was the Malibu, the ProTech Malibu.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great choice.
Adore. Second place went to the 8020. Both knives are fantastic. In the running, I think third place was the Quiet Carry Waypoint. I also mentioned the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. I think there were a lot of knives, at least in like the range that I buy in, that were really, really good this year. I liked the releases of this year more than the releases of last year.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. The Giant Mouse stuff I kind of got out of. I think I stopped with Giant Mouse at like right at the GM5 is when I kind of stopped messing with those. I had a GM4. I liked it. It was a cool little pocket rocket. Really nicely contoured and everything. But the detent and stuff, like sometimes it would snap out real hard. Sometimes it was, it had that curse of like putting any pressure on that lock bar. So it ended up being a knife that I sold.
The Grand is my favorite knife of theirs by a mile.
Really? I almost kind of want to say that I still am considering buying a GM6 if I can find one, which I don't think they're that hard to find. But that was the one knife. Yeah, they look kind of interesting to me. But I think they've done a really good job, and they've made their knives very affordable to people and given them a lot of knife for the package, that's for sure.
Elmax, micarta, crown spine, nested liners for sub $200 from Italy. That's you don't find that often.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like if you think of back when Giant Mouse was, the way they were before, they only had like one model, and it was like 100 pirates and then 300 productions, and then they were like out of the game for another like 6 months or whatever it was, right?
Yeah. The Ace line just made them a totally different brand.
Exactly. So they really kind of upped their game with that. So that was kind of cool to see. We Knives, I think, did a really good job. Hearing that from me last year would have been kind of funny. But as you can see, I've been buying a lot of like We Made stuff, and it's good. No doubt about it. So I think they've done really good with their Civivi knives. That's kind of like started its own little niche thing now, like before, like everybody was racing to collect like the higher end stuff. I think now there's even that like little niche market of Civivis and CJRBs and all those like little, like people like to collect those little inexpensive knives and have fun with them, which I get a kick out of. I think that's so cool. Most notable knives for me this year was probably, and I have to be fair because I have not been really deep into the knife world this year like I usually was, or more last year. But the knife that kind of stood out to me was the Skiff Drifter. I think that was my biggest pleasant surprise this year, like receiving a knife and just being like, whoa, I had no idea it was going to be this cool kind of feel to it, So that would be my notable knife and knife maker. And I think the Drifter has brought a whole new popularity to Skiff made blades. I think that knife made them stand out a lot more this year than they did last year. Mm-hmm. So that was my notable one. How about you, Tom? Gerald?
I mean, it's kind of tough because like you said, I wasn't as deep into the knife stuff this year as the last couple, but I guess
Just from what you saw, your personal perspective.
from what I see, I think the maker that stood out the most to me this year is, I hate to say it again, but
Alex?
Alex Steingraber. But just
Yeah.
the stuff that he's producing right now for the money is arguably probably some of the best out there. Been very, very impressed with everything that he's done. I mean, the dude went from making small runs of like 10 to 15 knives to his next couple batches are going to be 200. And it's just crazy.
So you guys are about to see the resale value on my go down. All right.
But I'm pretty impressed with him.
Hashtag use your shit. I'm just
Now
kidding.
go get your sausage out.
I'll get my sausage out for you. All right.
Just on your guys'
I
little
just gotta
woods
drink
trips.
a couple more beers.
Just on the woods trips. That's the only time the sausage comes out.
I know we still need to do another one of those freaking outdoors things. I just
We
been
do.
It won't be
I've been
posted
so
to
busy,
YouTube, though.
guys.
It's going to be going somewhere else.
What XTube?
You said it. I'm supposed to ask what you're drinking, Alex.
I'm drinking a Fat Tire.
I guess if I had to
Ooh,
pick a
it's good, too.
production brand that stood out this year, I'd say SOG. I think SOG did a good job of revamping their whole
Oh
lineup
yeah.
to make things a little bit more interesting this year and not so cheap.
I actually think that's a great point, Tom.
I feel like
SOG.
I still think they're a little overpriced, but I think the value is there more than what it's been in the past 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they did a good job revitalizing.
Absolutely. I think everybody agreed with that. And that new guy, whoever he is, I forgot his name, but the guy that took kind of charge of the face of the brand did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So that's a good notable company. As far as custom knife makers, because I know some of you guys aren't like into the heavy full custom stuff, but if anybody of the listeners are out there, I think, I mean, of course, I follow my own custom knife makers that I like, but I really have to say I saw a really lot of high quality stuff come from Brian Efros, a maker I've been wanting a knife from for like over a year and a half. But he's a little bit more of a difficult knife to get, and with those kind of knives, sometimes you kind of rather wait and have your own made, but you can always go on the secondary, I guess. But Brian Efros has been tearing it up, making some really wild blades, and then Ian Pekarski from CMF has been continuously coming up with new weird cool things he's been doing, from different ways of doing liner locks to really intricate pivots to doing
Like
full
a mad scientist.
yeah, like the kid never stops. Like he's always trying something different. A big trend of his this year that I thought was really cool. For a while, I guess he must have gotten a chunk of gold because he put like 24 karat gold on like a bunch of knives, which was really, really cool. Yeah, like that's another maker that really stood out for me on custom knife makers. Olamic's been kind of steady. They're kind of on a different plane. They're more production custom, and but they've been holding steady, making some really cool pieces, keeping it interesting. Who else? I mean, as far as like the guys that I've been looking at, I guess, of course, Christensen. That guy makes some really wild stuff.
I'm not sure I've seen his stuff.
CK
He
knives.
makes like the bangerang and stuff, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I have seen his stuff.
Dude, his custom knives are out of this world. Like they look so well made. That's another maker that's on my one day list. Is one of his, but yeah, some cool stuff in the custom world. Shirogorov didn't do shit this year. I'd like to say that loud and clear. They did a couple cool. I mean, like the NL edition was okay. I think I saw a micarta, micarta. What is it? The Hation Zero, right? Or the Neon Zero, whichever. They made like a burgundy micarta version, which looked kind of cool. But in all honesty, like their collaborations and stuff weren't really all that
You get like the
for me
quantum.
this year. No, I hate the Quantum.
Really?
I think it's an ugly knife. Yeah. I know. It's very unpopular for me to say that,
So
but
I'm looking at it right now.
yeah, I do not like the Quantum. I like all their F series knives. And then and the one Mechanic Knives has stepped up quite a bit this year, because I've been following them now for almost like 2-3 years. And actually I have a knife from 2018, 19, and 20 from him. And I kind of like put them all three, side by side to like look at them and see what he's done better and how they've improved. And they've definitely feel quite a bit better than they used to, although they were pretty good back then too. But interesting thing with him is the materials he's been using has been pretty wild. So that last knife he made for me was CPM Rex 121 layered Sanmai
That was
Damascus.
so cool.
Yeah. So I sent that one to Dirk for review. I haven't even reviewed it yet, but he needed some stuff. So usually I've been sending him a lot of like South African and that kind of stuff, but I thought I sent him a couple Russians this time. So that was one of them. That's a cool knife. But yeah, it seems like the knife world has kept chugging along overall.
Kept juggling indeed.
That's what it seems like to me, I mean, I'm kind of impressed as how much they've done, considering, the way things are out there in the business world. But moving right along, so it's Christmas coming along. Do you guys have any gift ideas for his or her?
Knives.
Knives
I do.
for the wife?
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never think that's a good idea.
So every woman needs a pochi. That's just fine. It is woman's best friend.
Just a fact of life at this point.
So I get a lot of people who, because they know I'm a knife guy, they ask me like if they're planning to get a knife for like the last one who asked me, he's looking for a present for his son-in-law, and he knows that he would like a knife, but he's like kind of guy who carries a pocket knife but doesn't know much about them. And so I find myself a lot recommending knives like the Ferrum Forge Stinger, if it's within someone's budget, because for me it's my favorite kind of budget knife of the year. At $90 full price on sale, they've been like $75 at a few retailers. I just feel like it's a really good deal for Nitro V and super pocket friendly. A lot of good things about the knife. But yeah, it really depends on what price point people are looking for. And for me, I've already given knives to most people that I'm close to at a certain point. So I don't find myself giving that many knives this year, because most of the people who I've given knives to, they're not like into it. So them having a bunch of knives around isn't as meaningful to them as me getting another knife, even though I've got 40 sitting next to me,
Where'd Alex go?
He didn't want to hear him.
Huh.
He asked the question and he dipped. He's like, oh, Jake's going? Screw it.
Interesting.
He took the lead and took off.
No, I spilled my beer. I'm cleaning it. And I gave myself some light.
Huh, if only they made
Can you
a
guys see me?
PVC knife to help you clean up your beer. No? Okay.
Good?
Yeah,
No?
we can see you.
Yeah? Okay, good. All right, I didn't
Now-
know, man, because
now
my
you
camera
look
keeps
like-
popping you guys
Now
in
you
and
look
out.
like Jersey Shore in the winter that hasn't gone to tanning lately.
Pauly D.
You guys cut out. I didn't hear what you said, but I'm sure
You're
it was
just saying
fun.
you had to go do some GTO.
It's all right. You have to watch the episode around an hour and 5.
All right. So gift ideas. I know Jake had his. Tom.
I have an idea. Not a knife. A sharpening system, because most knife guys just buy another fucking knife instead of buying something nice to sharpen them with.
Exactly.
There you
got,
go.
They got thousands of dollars in knives and a fucking $5 pull-through sharpener. Just go buy yourself.
There we
go,
go.
go buy
See,
them a
now
nice
I
sharpener.
got them.
Don't get cheap on them either. $200 gets you everything. Yeah,
I think that's a good idea
that-
for a gift.
that's my suggestion.
I think it's also smart to do things
Like-
like knife storage cases and all that. I get
Yeah.
a ton of people asking me all the time, like what kind of storage case to get. And there's good options. Like Cutlery Shop has an exclusive, like 20 or 40 knife case that they do with slots already done, like a little over $100. Or you can customize it. You can get one of the Harbor Freight ones and pluck it yourself, or like that kind of stuff. Like Tom said, same kind of thing. It's like it's way easier as a knife guy to spend more money on another knife than to justify the other things that go around the peripheral. So I think that's a good point. Like the work mat or tools, like WeHop bits
Yeah.
and drivers, all that kind of stuff that knife guys need but don't want to spend their knife budget on.
I'm gonna be the first to say, like, don't actually buy a knife person a knife, because like the tastes are so, like, for most people, it's very refined and very particular. Like, if somebody bought me a knife right now, the chances of them getting me one that I would actually enjoy are very, very slim. Just get him a gift card. I know it's
Or
really
talk to
impersonal.
one of his best knife buddies to find out
True.
what he actually wants. Like, if someone was shopping for you and they talked to one of us, we could probably figure out something that they could buy you you'd actually like. But if they're just guessing and they go on Blade HQ and they're like, "Oh, I bet Tom would like that," you're gonna end up with something weird.
End up with a Smith & Wesson.
Tom would
I was
like
just
the
gonna
turbo.
say that.
Tom would like the Cherbakoff in the Van X37 that he
Please.
missed out on the sale last year.
That'd be great. So if anyone's listening and
For
wants to
2K.
send me one,
Van X37 Toucan.
yep. The one that you almost bought out from
300.
underneath of me.
Yeah, I should have.
You
told
should have.
me.
That way I could have got it eventually. Or you would have
Yeah,
kept it.
exactly. Yeah, and if you go back to the episode and listen to it, you and I go back and forth for almost like 40 minutes. Like, don't you dare, Alex. I'm going to buy it.
And guess who didn't buy it?
Yeah.
I talked myself
I was
out
like-
of it. God damn, I'm good at that.
I was going to buy it too. I'll let Tom buy it.
I'm so
And
good at
then a
talking
few
myself
days
out of it.
later, I'll be asking him, I'm like, did you buy it, Tom? Did you buy it? No, not yet. Not yet. No, not yet.
It sat there for like 2 or 3 weeks.
hmm
How much was that knife?
Like a little over $300.
Oh, that's
It was
not
like
bad.
355 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Ooh. I would
Van
do that right now.
X37 full carbon fiber.
It was so good.
I think regular price was like 420 or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
That was a cool little knife.
Mm.
I kind of regret
Yeah.
missing out on that one, but I saved myself $350. So
Well,
you
if
win
someone
some,
is
you lose
listening
some.
to this and owns that knife, then I'll buy it from you just to flex on Tom. But I want it for $350.
Yep. Listen, you can have it. I'll just know I'm still $350 richer.
Yeah, you won't be Van X37, Richard.
Van X37 pour.
That's fine. I'll go to Alex and get a Van X Shark for $200.
I already have a Van X Shark. I already got you there too, pal.
I got a Van X Waypoint for $200,
I got a Van X Waypoint too. What's up, fam?
right? $200.
See, over here in Ohio, we don't need those cool rust-proof steels. We
I don't
got-
need it here
We don't
either.
got any
It's just
salt
fun.
water. It doesn't get hot enough. It's goddamn 30 degrees.
So, okay, so that's very good advice. So if you have a friend that's in the knife hobby, don't get him a knife. Get him something else. That's valuable information.
Yep.
Sharpening
Something else related to
system, Weehaw bit drive kit, bit drivers. Yeah.
Gift cards are so impersonal, but it always works.
Yes. Gift cards are great.
Always works.
How about for your significant others? What are you guys getting?
She's picking. It's safer that way.
Oh my goodness.
I think what I'm getting her is perfume, but it's a very particular perfume that I would be incapable of selecting on my own. So for the last few years, we've just been birthdays and Christmas. Like we each decide what we want, and then we wrap it for each other. Everyone's happy.
All right. So does she give you a budget to work with? Is
Yeah,
that-
there's usually like a agreed upon. We'll stay within the window kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I like that. Tom,
I am
Would you-
I'm my own significant other at this point, so I don't.
what's your mommy
I
gonna
don't
give you?
need no man.
I don't need no man. I'm a strong, independent. Yeah.
No. What's your mommy gonna get you?
I don't know. What's the point
Some-
of knowing?
Some socks and underwear,
Yeah, hey, listen, I'll take it at this point.
right?
Less
Some
money I have to
extra
spend on
small
other
gloves.
things.
Some new mittens, keep his little fingers.
Yeah,
Mm.
some
Warm.
extra small gloves.
Like those hats with the big fuzzy sides, like so that Oh, I don't want your little ears to get home.
Gonna look like Bullwinkle.
Here, I made you a hot little apple pie too. Oh, you're too skinny. You're not eating enough. I know they tell you that for sure.
I've been told that before.
I'm sure they tell you that all the time. They're like, eat some more.
I believe they probably ask him too when his hands are going to grow to fit his body.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
It comes up in the conversation whenever he picks up his fork for dinner.
using a fucking salad fork just to make it look like my hands are normal size.
Like, he picks up the fork, like, oh, damn it, Tom, when are you going to grow those hands out?
I use one of those like little like plastic kids ones to make my hands look normal.
My daughter has those.
Yeah.
Look, you probably use that little fork they give you for crab legs.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah,
Ruthless.
ruthless. What do we want to see for next year, guys? Trend-wise, things like that.
Well,
Keep
okay,
your-
I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I think just about everybody has fit and finish down. They need to quit
Okay.
focusing on that. They need to focus on how to do a heat treat so people actually get a knife worth of shit and clean up some of those grinds a little bit. This like 25, 30,000 behind the edge stuff is just
Blech.
Yeah, I think slice your geometry would be a good thing. I would like it if glass breakers were banned from the knife world altogether.
yeah,
And
I
seatbelt
second that.
cutters.
Yeah, if we could get rid of glass breakers, seatbelt cutters, way less jimping for me.
Yeah, yep.
Did you guys ever see what Acuminous Edge, when he used his custom Troodon to break a window at the store?
Mm-mm.
What happened? Dude, if you use one of those glass breakers on a building, he had these super thick gloves on when he did it. But dude, it tore up his gloves. Like if that was his bare hand,
Ooh.
oh my god. Like you will bleed. Your hand will be sausage meat a lot of
I've
times.
been going on some like tirades in some of my recent Microtech videos because I've really been analyzing and like trying to listen to people who defend Glassbreaker as like what the merits of them are. And I genuinely think that the users of Microtech Glassbreakers are delinquents with like Insane Clown Posse tattoos. I think that there's no one really using these for like search and rescue and like emergency personnel. If you need a glass breaker and you're relying on it being on your knife, like these are collector knives. People who have these have 50 knives and they don't all have glass breakers on them. So
But
in my opinion, if you need a glass breaker for what you do or you live in a place where you need one, then you keep it in your vehicle or in your like tool bag for whatever you do professionally. It should not be on the butt end of your knife. I find them.
You know,
No, dude, come on. The rescue me goes on your keychain. You just push it against the window, and they're like $10-$12.
Yep.
Sure.
I actually think that it's cool in a true military situation. Being a veteran myself, especially those guys that are in Iraq, a lot of times what they're looking for is something easy that they can break a glass through and stick a rifle up through the window in. So for something like that, or like just to do a quick look, like I think it's cool on a knife, but for everyday carrying, absolutely
Here's
not.
what I'll concede. I will say I think it would be cool if Microtech made it an accessory you could buy for your knife. If it came with a regular screw back there and you could add a glass breaker if you wanted to, that would be great. But I don't think it should default to a glass breaker on any knife. I think it should be the kind of thing on a $300 OTF that's just a Mall Ninja knife.
But it's not tactical, low drag, and all that.
It
Like,
should also be way smaller than that. It shouldn't be 3/4 of an inch hanging off the knife. You do it like Benchmade
All
does
you
it with
need
like
is the
an
little-
eighth.
You just need the little ball that's in the tip of it. You don't
Yes.
need this whole crown thing that's coming up.
you don't want to destroy your knife frame when you're hunting Bin Laden.
Here's my thing too, on especially like dagger grind blades. When I go in a reverse grip, which I actually use reverse grips with some level of regularity, I put my thumb on top of the knife so that if I'm stabbing into something that's harder than I expect, I don't slide down. There's no guard on this knife. There's nothing else really to stop me from sliding down. So I want to hook my thumb on the top. And this completely gets in the way of that. And it's a dagger. This blade shape was designed, intended to jab in a reverse grip. That's what you do with this blade shape. And so the fact that I can't put my thumb where I feel it's best suited to go because they put a glass breaker on it, it irritates me to no end. So I would like to end all glass breakers on knives personally, and I'll start the campaign.
I would
You
sign
can,
that
you
petition.
can follow if you want.
I'm not joining that campaign, but I'm not joining the other side either. So fair enough. So yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat as far as trends. I actually kind of like the whole tactical knife scene. I think they're kind of fun in some respects, but I've been finding myself going to smaller knives lately, something that's a little easier to carry around work and whatnot. So I think that's kind of where my focus will be next year, possibly be more like small gentleman's carries. It's just kind of what I'm been gravitating to, I think small knives that are fancy is kind of a rare thing. And although it's a lot more popular than it used to be, but I'd like to see like fancy small knives. I think they're just a whole lot of fun. And especially like, in a work setting, especially now that I'm going to be starting my new job in a week, you don't know anybody there at work. So this is probably what I'll be carrying. Something really small, at least for the first week, till I bring out the stabbiness, Boss, he was cutting his sandwich with a Tonto blade. Is that allowed here? Yeah. What's a Tonto? I don't know. That's what he called it.
Does it have a glass breaker?
He said, "Don't worry, it's just a Tonto." I'm like, okay. Yes, it has a glass breaker. Everything has a glass breaker, Tom. Even your head.
Oh. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Anyways, I was gonna do a cooking knife segment, but I don't think Steve's gonna show up after all.
No.
That's too bad.
Steve,
We were gonna have the Super Steel Steve, but
Steve went from being 30 minutes late to just not showing up at all, and Jake took his place of being late.
Yep. Sure did. But he showed up, so we're all good.
Yeah, that's good.
So
He's
I don't
showing
know.
up,
What
he's
do
showing
you
up
guys
looking all
think? This is
crispy,
good?
sounding all crispy. I mean, he's got the whole 9
What
yards.
more do you want from me?
I mean, I'm just
I like
I'm
his
just
hair.
impressed. I just need better lighting now so I can keep up with you.
Yeah, and a normal chair so you don't look like a 5-year-old.
Listen, I like this chair. It's comfortable. It reclines.
Just take the pillow off.
It
of it.
reclines. Look, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Take that GTR pillow out of there.
It's
That's so much
Oh,
better.
no. There's nothing for my head to sit on now.
That's what
I'm
she
not leaning
said.
my head against anything.
This is terrible. I gotta support my
That's
neck.
she
What the
said as
fuck?
well.
Have
And
you guys
that's
seen
also what she said.
those selfies of dudes with beard when they take pictures? Like,
Is that what you do? You just put your camera down here and take a picture?
the googly eyes on my neck.
Mm,
Oh boy.
well, with all that being said, I think this is a good place to end it on. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Fine by me.
I hope
Until
everything looked good this time because Google Hangouts decided to switch everything up on us, but now we have the 4 equal windows that you can see all of us really easily, which is
I
kinda
like this
nice.
format better for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like that I can mute people, so when Alex starts playing his annoying noises, I can mute him. But at the same time,
shouldn't have
it
said that.
shows that his mic is muted, but I can't mute him, so we're kind of fucked this episode. I can kick him though.
It
I
has
can
said that
kick
he's
him.
muted the whole time.
I can kick him. It is possible for me to click the button that says remove from meeting. If this gets out of hand, and you wonder where Alex goes, this is what's gonna happen.
because I did get an iPhone 12, so
So when you got an iPhone 12, did the sounds become more annoying?
they became louder.
Oh, great.
It has more volume.
Damn, son, you just hit with the wow effect.
Wow. All right. So let's end it before this gets too bad.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So if you guys enjoyed the episode, wow, I'm gonna have to cut that part out. I just want you to know you're one click away.
Do I have the power to mute people or boot them?
You should be able to. Maybe not.
We'll just all boot each other, and then only Gerald will be left.
Hey, I'm cool with that. Drill will end it off then.
Look, I have a problem. I have a thing. I can report abuse. I think I'm going to report the abuse of that.
Oh!
Demonetized.
Yep. Jesus Christ. We're gonna have to cut that from the we're gonna have to cut that from the final. So thank you for adding editing. This whole episode went so smoothly until then.
It doesn't tell you what it's gonna say.
Well,
it just
You can't just do that.
See, look, like this one says "rabid old man."
Don't play it.
Yep. All right. As always, guys, thank you for watching on Twitch and listening on whatever platform. On whatever platform you're listening to after the fact. And oh my God. Thank you guys for a great 2020, and we will see you in 2021.